All right, Sandy, we are now officially live. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning. It's exciting to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, we are so excited to have you on this morning. If we get a few viewers on here that are popping in to chime in with us in our conversation, just let us know in the comments section that you can see and hear us, and we will get started. We are so excited this morning to have Sandy Woodall as our guest. She is the Executive Director, CEO of EC Learn, and that's their logo up in the top of the screen that you'll see there. She's going to talk to us about some different roles and just kind of a day in the life of the roles that they have there at EC Learn available right now for childcare. So hang tight with us this morning for about 10 minutes. We'll talk about that. And then we will give you guys a little 5-minute question and answer session at the end. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to go over those with you. All right, Sandy, say hi to everybody in case.
Good morning.
And let them see and hear us, and they can tell us that we are good to go. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with introductions because I feel like a lot of our viewers are familiar with our Facebook Lives and how they work. So my name's Haley Franklin, and you guys probably are used to seeing my face on here. Sorry about that. I am the Youth Talent Development Specialist, and I am in the Carrollton office, but I work with all of our Northern Kentucky regions with young adults that are 16 to 24 and help them with internships and college funding and things like that. So this has been a little added perk for the last year and a half. We've done these Facebook Lives. We're going to kind of start to fizzle them off into more of like a once a month or once a quarter type thing, just because we feel like we're getting back to a normal now. So, oh, hey, look, we've got a few people. EC Learn Northern Kentucky. Hi, thanks for tuning in. Awesome. And then we've got Miss Sandy Woodall here. If you didn't hear her introduction earlier, she is the Executive Director and CEO of EC Learn. We're very excited to have her here this morning. Hi, Missy. Thanks for joining us this morning. All right, Sandy, it looks like we are good to go. Okay. So we'll just jump right into it. You want to give us a brief overview of EC Learn for those that are not familiar? Jump right into that for us.
Sure. So EC Learn provides like critical childcare education resources for families, early childhood professionals, and employers across 8 Northern Kentucky region. And so we're really excited to be here today because one of the really highlights of a childcare resource and referral agency is we get to partner with early childhood professionals. And so we don't care for children ourselves, but we really work with those that do. And so we're excited to, elevate the importance of the quality learning experiences for all children and family. And one of those is making sure that our childcare providers have the staff they need to care for those children. And so I just want to talk a little bit about what a quality early learning professional would be, a childcare teacher in our field, and just really kind of explain what a day in childcare would look like, and just kind of give some more detail for those that are really interested in working with children and wanting to learn more about that. So glad to be here today.
Yes, we're so happy you could hop on here with us this morning. Sandy, tell us about the positions that you're currently hiring for.
So childcare providers across our region are really looking for lead and assistant teachers. And what's exciting about that is that you can, if you live in Boone, there's childcare providers in Boone that are hiring. If you live in Kenton County, pretty much any county you live in, childcare is hiring right now because we have, just coming back from COVID and, just really wanting to increase the talent pipeline around what families have been experiencing. Some families had to choose to stay home. And so we just want to make sure that when families are going back into the workforce, the talent pipeline is there for those child care providers to provide that care for children.
Absolutely. All right. So this one's a little bit trickier. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but the pay rates, can you go into a little bit more detail with that?
Yeah, so childcare, each of them are a small business, so they set their pay rates. And so, a pay rate could start at minimum wage based on, a certain role within the childcare. Besides lead teachers and assistant teachers, they have, floats, kitchen staff. And so you could start at minimum wage. You could start at $9 an hour, especially when we look at centers that are in the quality rating system. And the quality rating system is kind of like a hotel system. If you're looking at stars and you're like, ooh, I want to stay at the Hilton because it's like a 4 or 5 star. So same with childcare. They have a 1 to 5 star, and the state sets a quality rating, and a quality center would be 3, 4, and 5. So when you're working at those centers, the pay it can be higher, and so that could be up to $12. Some offer also higher wage than 12. Also, education really factors into that pay rate. So if you're coming in with the basic qualifications, that may cause a lower pay rate. But if you're coming in with experience working in childcare or the early childhood field, if you have some education, such as a child development associate credential, an associate degree, or even some credentials that are out there in the state, that could also increase your pay. So I would just encourage you to look when you Google, childcare is near me and want to apply at one. Just kind of look for some of those things, and the pay rate will be based on that small business themselves.
That's awesome. I didn't know about the rating thing. You learn something new every day. That's really neat.
It is. It really is. And it really helps keep the quality and children safe in our state.
Yes. All right, Sandy, thanks for that. This next question is a little bit kind of along the same lines as the qualification requirements, but are there any special requirements that you're asking of applicants that are outside of the qualification requirements? Anything special that you can think of?
I think the special requirement is that in childcare, we always want you to learn and grow. And so especially around that quality system, being really willing to further your education, whether it's the required 15 hours of training you might have to take within your year of employment, or if it's wanting to further your degree to get credentials, or, actual, associate or bachelor's degree moving forward. And there is actually scholarships available for those things through the state if you're working and live in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, wow. That is really cool. So how do we apply? How do job seekers apply if they're wanting to?
So one of the nice things about EC Learn's website, we have job postings. So child care providers are able to go on there, post their jobs for the 8 counties we serve. So those counties are Boone, Campbell, Kenton, Grant, Carroll, Owen, and Pendleton, and I'm missing one. Gallatin, thank you. Yes. Gallatin. And so you can go on there, pick your county, and then it'll kind of give you a little bit of a list of your what child care centers have posted there, and it'll give you how you post. It could be an online, it could take you to the child care's website. And so that's just if you visit our website at eclearn.org, and it's a / job postings. And then that just gives you all the information that you would need. Also, if you're just interested in finding, you can Google it. Google child cares near me. I just did that before I hopped on this live, and it listed several child cares near me, and kind of visited their websites, and they were hiring. So, you could do that as well. But, the first step would be to check out EC Learn's job postings. We were, again, partner with the child care providers and get those up there. And then that kind of lists the requirements there. But we also, this is exciting, we're working with the Kentucky Career Center to host a job fair. And so stay tuned for that, what that will look like. And so child cares are going to be coming together, meeting in the parking lot at the Florence Career Center. And there'll be a little bit of pre-interviews and putting in some applications. So there'll be that option as well.
That's amazing. Is there more to come on that, like the date and time things? Okay.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yay. Thank you for all that information, you guys. We will put that out there on our Facebook page. Sandy, remind me the website again, eclearn.org / job posting.
Yep. Add an S, postings.
Add an S. Okay. Got it. So that is going to be put in the comments section of this video, and it'll be clickable for people to just click back and get to the website easier.
Thanks, Haley.
You're very welcome. Okay, so this next question is my favorite. What is a day in the life of an employee like at EC Learn for one of the roles that you're hiring for?
So I would say one of the exciting things that I appreciate about childcare when I was in the classroom is no day is the same. Every day is a new adventure. And just being able to work with children of all different age groups. You can work with young infants, you can work with mobile infants, you can work with twos, you can work with preschoolers from 3 to 5, you can work with school agers 5 and up. So any day is completely different. And then the bonus are the hugs and the smiles that you get from the children. And so, you know, we were talking about having a bad day earlier. There's no bad day in childcare because you just get one hug around your leg and everything just changes. So I would really say that's the best part of like no day's the same. It's different. And just caring and nurturing for, you know, our youngest children is fulfilling, and it really means a lot to be able to mold and teach and, you know, really influence those that are, you know, impressionable.
Oh, I love that, Sandy. And, you know, when I think about it, just being around the school system and stuff and in different roles in Carroll County, I can pick out, you know, some of the kids that might not have such a nurturing home life, and that might be where they get it, is at EC Learn and at the different schools that, you know, that are hiring. So that's amazing. All right, we are on the next question for the qualification requirements.
So the state sets, you know, the child cares are licensed and regulated. And so the Division of Child Care really sets what the qualification requirements start at. And so that is you have to be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED equivalent. You need to be able to have a negative TB test. And you also need to have a clear background check. So those are like the 4 major like qualifications to work in childcare. You know, childcare experience is preferred sometimes, but really not required because, as I stated earlier, we want to be able to grow and have those early childhood professionals learn while they're in the field. I can say that's how I learned best when I was starting out in childcare.
Yeah.
As a teacher, is just, you know, being able to experience that firsthand. You know, and then just thinking about some of the characteristics that are really important when working with young children is just being motivated, reliable, because that consistency for children is really important, of being on time and being consistent when you're there for them, because they really do rely on you to provide that safe, nurturing, loving environment. Having effective communication is really important, not only for your classroom and for your co-teachers, but for families and the supervision that you have there at childcare. And then, you know, just some soft skills that are really sometimes that, you know, making sure when you're reliable, that you're dressed appropriately, and those things as we move forward in those times of, because again, you're modeling and being that there for those children.
Absolutely. Those are good things to think about. Thank you. So the next question is about, and a reminder for those of you that are watching, if you have questions so far, this is our last question together with Sandy and myself. So if you have something that you would like to ask her while we have her here live, please do that in the comments box, and we will pick a couple of those out here at the end of our conversation. Sandy, tell us about the benefits and resources for these roles that you're hiring for.
So again, childcare, you know, are individually owned small businesses, so those could vary as well. But some of the things that are typical within childcare are vacation, sick time, or could be looked at as PTO time, offering different health benefits such as medical, dental, or vision, and some, you know, childcare discounts. So if you have children and you're looking at, you know, becoming in the field of early childhood, just having that childcare discount themselves could be helpful. But again, these fluctuate per what small business has available, but those are some of the perks. Sometimes there is retirement or life insurance as well, just depending on what the small business offers to their employees.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for going over those questions with me.
No, thank you.
Outlining those things. We do have a couple questions here in the comments box. I'm going to pull one out.
Okay.
Elizabeth Adams, we were just talking about you this morning, Elizabeth. Hello, and thanks for watching. She's asking, what metrics would you use to measure success in this role?
So most child cares will do an orientation and really set up what that looks like individually. And then there's like a 90-day review. And so, some of the things would, again, be looking at reliability, attendance, working well with others, the willingness to further their education based on, attending trainings within that 90 days, because there are some orientation requirements that have to be completed within that 90 days. So really looking at, the self-help skills and those things that could offer, because everything's a changing day. So, those are some of the metrics that we would look at for sure when looking at hiring and what a successful role would be. Thanks for the question, Elizabeth.
Yes, thank you. All right. The next question we have is from EC Learn Northern Kentucky. They're asking, Sandy, can you talk more about opportunities for professional development? Do you need a degree or credential to apply for a job in childcare? Great question.
Yep. So you do not need a credential to apply. You can get that as you're hired. And again, those professional development opportunities, EC Learn provides that. We have a child development associate credential to start off with. And it's a 120 hours of training, takes about 9 to 10 months to occur. And then within that first 120, you get a CCCC, which is a Commonwealth Child Care Credential, which is specific to Kentucky. And that's the first 60 hours of that 120-hour training. And then that's kind of like your first pay bump. So like when I said, when you come in, then you get, an increase in your wages, typically at the child care small businesses. And then the CDA would be your next step. And then you could also go for a director's credential, which is offered at some local colleges like Gateway in our area. And then again, your associate and bachelor's degree. And as you go up that, career pathway, your wages would increase being in the childcare field. But again, you do not have to have those in place. If you do and you want to work in childcare, that's a bonus for you, but it's not something you have to apply for a job in childcare.
Awesome. Thank you for putting that question in the comments box, and Sandy for going over it. Another question is from Elizabeth. What is the biggest challenge the team has faced in the past year?
So for childcare in general, I would have to say the biggest challenge was access to having children enrolled in their centers, because some childcare has lost a lot of staff due to the pandemic. Yes. Some staff chose to leave. Some staff they had to, let go because the enrollment wasn't there, because families were choosing not to send their children to childcare. Right. And as we're coming back out of that recovery, it's been really hard to find the talent and find the employees to work in childcare. And so here we are today and having this conversation because we really want to influence and impact those that, have had an interest in being a teacher, being in the education field, because childcare is for you. And what does that look like to get you involved?
Right. Thank you, Elizabeth. It's a good question. All right. EC Learn Northern Kentucky has a couple more questions, and then we will wrap it up. Sandy, let's see. Here is one. How can EC Learn support childcare providers that are new to the field?
Good question. So if you're new to the field, we offer trainings that are not necessarily directed to the Child Development Associate credential right away. Because if you think, I just don't know if I have the time commitment for that 9 to 10 months right now, we definitely have best practice trainings available. We also have the orientation that is required by the Division of Child Care for those employers, that have new employees. So we can definitely support them. We're always available for any questions or connecting them to childcare. So if you're having trouble finding, the job post, or if you're not quite sure what childcare are in your area, definitely reach out. You could contact us at info@eclearn.org. So that's the email. So again, that's info@eclearn.org. Too many apps in there.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That is now in the comments section as well. And EC Learn has one more question here. How quickly are programs trying to fill these positions? Great question.
Today. You could apply today. So if you are really motivated and want to get into the early childhood field, apply today. And again, you can check out the job postings on eclearn.org's website for the child cares in your county. Again, or just Google child cares in your area, and you will be able to find it. And I can guarantee anyone you Google is looking for staff, looking for those lead teachers, looking for those assistant teachers. So I encourage you to apply today.
Awesome. Do it right now. Thank you for that question, and thanks for going over it, Sandy. It looks like that is all of the questions that we have right now, but this video will be up until the end of time, Sandy. So if there are more questions that come through and I don't know the answers, I will get with you and we'll make sure we get those answered for them.
Awesome. And I would just say, if you're a child care provider and you're, listening to the video, drop in your website where they can apply, and that will be easier for those that are looking to get into the field to be able just to click that link and take you right to the application or the online process.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. All right. It looks like our time here is coming to an end, Sandy. Thank you so much again for joining us.
I appreciate it. This was fun. I appreciate the invitation and being able to be that voice for our child care providers looking to hire and increase their teams.
Absolutely. We hope to garner some really good applicants for you guys from this video. So if you're watching, make sure to like, comment, share it, and just let people know they can apply here. Next week, we'll be coming at you again with another employer at 9:30 a.m. Make sure to tune in, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, Sandy.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.